So Marvel Studios just confirmed something huge when it comes to the Fantastic Four first steps, because they have actually answered a really big question that we have been wondering ever since we got that first Fantastic Four trailer. This is going to put some theories to rest, but it's also going to spark some new ones. Marvel Studios showed a scene of the Fantastic Four first steps that hasn't been revealed to the public to an outlet, and now they are finally talking about what they saw. Also, at the same time, it has been revealed by Marvel Studios that the Fantastic Four really is going to be more multiversal than we expect, and that First Steps really is going to do a lot to set up Avengers Doomsday and the Multiverse saga as a whole. And this scene that is talked about in the latest issue of Empire actually tells us how the Fantastic Four originally discover Galactus, and now gives us some context about a specific line that Reed Richards says in the trailer. So, a lot to break down, and if you love Marvel and the Fantastic Four, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Also, if you missed this Dolby Cinema Fantastic Four First Steps poster, we do kind of get a glimpse here at Mr. Fantastic actually stretching. We've only seen it one time in the trailers so far out of everything they've given us, and now we have a poster kind of showcasing it as well. As you can see, his hand is stretching out towards the camera, giving us a little glimpse. Now, for this new Fantastic Four scene that Empire got the exclusive to, they get a chance to tell the public in their latest issue about this scene, and it reveals that the Fantastic Four will discover the existence of Galactus through a missing planet in the cosmos. Now, we recently heard that when Galactus is first introduced, he's going to kind of be presented in a horror-esque type of way. He's supposed to be terrifying, which makes total sense because if a cosmic god that is literally, or can be literally, bigger than your planet were to show up to devour your planet, you'd be absolutely terrified. And it sounds like we are going to get just a massive shot of Galactus. It sounds like he's going to be way bigger than the Earth at some point in time, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. For this scene where they discover Galactus, they do notice at first that this planet is missing. In the scene that was shown, it was of Reed Richards pointing to a series of holographic star charts, and he's talking to the Fantastic Four, and he's explaining that this is Proxima Delphi, which, as you can see, is now gone. This is the actual quote of what he says. This is Proxima Delphi, a system with a planet similar to our own, which, as you can see, is now gone. Now, this actually gives us details about two different really important parts in the trailer for the Fantastic Four. The first one is the specific line that Reed Richards says in the full-length trailer. In the trailer, the Fantastic Four shows up and says that their planet has been marked for death, and then we hear immediately after Reed Richards say, "It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space." And they heard. So what I believe he is talking about now, based on this new scene that was shown to Empire that they are now speaking about, is that the Fantastic Four, with all of their advanced technology, discovered planets that Galactus had destroyed, which got them on Galactus's radar. Now, this could be via telescopes that they might have at the Baxter Building, or maybe they sent some into space. But I think Galactus ultimately discovers who the Fantastic Four are because they decide to go and visit one of these planets that is being destroyed or was destroyed by Galactus. And that's also why this new information, this new scene, explains something else that was really major in the trailer. The shot of the Fantastic Four ship going to a planet that looked like Earth that was being destroyed by Galactus. A lot of people thought it was Earth. A lot of people had theories about time travel, about multiversal travel. But now we know the Fantastic Four actually go out there in the universe to see what Galactus is doing, to see how these planets are actually dying. This scene confirms it. Reed Richards says this is Proxima Delphi, a system with a planet similar to our own, which, as you can see, is now gone. Well, if it's similar to our own, that would definitely explain why in that scene it looks like Earth. But now we know it is not. And I think this scene tells us a little bit more info about the order of events in which they take place for the movie, because now it certainly seems like Reed Richards actually goes into space with the Fantastic Four, of course, and he looks into space via his telescopes and any other advanced technology that he has. When he goes and does that, he gets on Galactus's radar. So when he returns to Earth, the Silver Surfer shows up because she tracked them down. She tells them that their planet is marked for death, and that's where he says, "This is my fault. I stretched the bounds of space," and they heard. And when he's speaking about they, plural, I believe this is because he's already seen Galactus, and then he saw the Silver Surfer, of course, when she showed up to warn them. Now, we do know that we are going to be getting another scene where the Fantastic Four are being chased by the Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer is trying to grab Franklin Richards, the child of Reed and Sue, while Sue is actually giving birth. This could happen right as they leave the destroyed planet. Perhaps they sense the power of Franklin Richards. The Silver Surfer is told to go get Franklin from them, and they go through that black hole, like is mentioned in that scene, to escape the Silver Surfer. Then I assume ultimately they will get back home, and the Silver Surfer will track them down and then say something along the lines of, your planet is marked for death unless you bring us the baby. Because it's definitely confirmed that at this point in time that Galactus wants Franklin, but we'll have to wait and see the actual order of the events. Now, like I mentioned, and speaking of that black hole, Marvel did confirm that this is going to build the multiverse. An executive producer for Marvel Studios, Grant Curtis, explained a few things. One we've already talked about. One, he said that this was a massively freeing project, as in it's set in a different universe and doesn't have to really connect to anything. Because, well, it doesn't connect to anything. It's a completely separate universe. But he did say that there are going to be some Easter eggs that are going to put smiles on the faces of the fans. So that's nice to know. But as he continued, he talked about how it was freeing, but it was also a very huge responsibility for the team because of the various universes and the worlds and how they all combine. He said, we feel a huge responsibility because this is moving into the next stages of the various universes and the worlds and how they all combine. And we've seen in the trailer Reed Richards working on what appeared to be a multiversal portal. And he is the smartest man alive, in his universe at least. So he's the person to do it. But as you just heard, the next stages of various universes and worlds and how they combine, that is clearly talking about what is about to happen in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. But like I mentioned, we do have a scene coming up in the Fantastic Four where they go through a black hole. And I'm curious as to if the black hole actually takes them to another universe. But due to Reed possibly having solved multiversal jumping already, he knows how to get them back. Because if that is true, then that means although this movie is going to take place in a completely different universe than our own, they will actually continue to explore even more universes in that movie, which I personally think is a really good idea. Dive as deep into the multiverse saga and the multiverse as a whole as we can before really getting into the destruction of the entire multiverse, which is coming probably at the end of Avengers Doomsday. So we're in for some pretty killer scenes in the Fantastic Four First Steps, but this new information does confirm what Reed did to stretch the bounds of space, and we finally know what planet was shown to us that was dying. It's not Earth, it's a planet in a different solar system. So big answers there. Go ahead and let me know all your thoughts and theories about the Fantastic Four First Steps, and if you're excited to see it. Leave your comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news, rumors, or leaks. You can check us out on other social medias, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.